Hi guys, in this video I'll cover the installation and download and also explain a few different versions of the game for Street League Racing. As you know, we mostly support that for the VStanced website, so that's where we're going to be. So go on to vstanced.com, register, and then in the gaming section click on Street League Racing. Inside there you'll find a form called downloads, click on that. And then here you'll see all the sections for random mods, paint jobs, tires, wheels, etc. So what we'll want is the game. Now when you click that, it might be a bit overwhelming seeing that many versions of the game, but there are a few that I personally recommend to try first and see how you get on with them. So the first one is this. Big B93 Street League Racing Redline 2015. So it's based at 221 MWM mod. It has quite a few fixes and it's a lot more stable and has a few nice bits in there, and it's a good starting game if you want to download the game and start downloading mods on top of it. But it's not the one we're going to install today. This is recommended as a base game. The other game that's worth looking into is Street League Racing Exhaustive. This is built by a guy, Emil Mand, and he's got a lot of mods, a lot of rims, a lot of tires, a lot of fixes, reshade and so on. Basically, it's a very heavily modified game, but it's actually also at the same time reasonably stable, and the guy is still around and supporting users who have issues with the game. So if you want a heavily modded one, do download this. You can change the graphics, you can disable reshade and so on to make it look a bit different, but that's your call. And then there are a couple other games that I do recommend. One of them is BB93 Street League Racing 2015 90s Euro, and there's the 90s JDM. So there are two versions. Essentially what these two are is they're based on this game plus 90s Euro mods, and in this case 90s JDM mods. So we'll have a look at the Euro version. So if you look at this, there's quite a few fixes. Quite a few fixes in here. Weights, prices, chase cameras and so on. Quite a few mods in there. A lot of Euro cars added, a lot of Euro engines added, a lot of Euro cars parts added, wheels and so on. And a few screenshots. So this is the one we would be downloading this time. So all you do is scroll down to the green box, click the mediafire.com link, and that will take you to mediafire.com, which is a file hosting site. Just click download and download that zip file. Once you download the zip, this is what you'll have. You'll essentially have a file called .7z. 7z's are 7-zip archives, so just download 7-zip and extract it to BB93 Euro directory. With Street League Racing, you don't have to install it at this stage, so once you extract it, this will be your game directory, so you can move it to your games folder or wherever else you want to keep it, but this is where you're going to launch it from. To launch the game, you'll be using this shortcut, but before we do that, let's have a chat about mods and future use of the game if you want to install mods, remove mods, or debug the game if you have any problems. So first directory to pay attention to is the cars directory, and inside cars directory there's a subdirectory called racers. Inside here you'll see all the car mods that are pre-installed in this game. So as an example, let's pick the BMW 36 underscore data. This directory comes together with this .rpk file. Whenever you install a car mod, you will have the directory underscore data and an RPK file. These two go together and they always go into cars races directory. So that's how you would install car mods. Another directory to keep attention to is maps. Inside maps there's a subdirectory called add-on underscore maps. Inside here you'll see all the add-on maps that you can download from the website. So as an example, take Canaan mod map, and we also got the .rpk file. Again, directory goes with the RPK. You do not either have just directory or just the RPK file. You have both or nothing. Another directory to pay attention to is the parts directory. Inside here you'll be putting all your wheels, all your tires and so on. But certain things like engines go in the own subdirectory called engines. So inside here you will be deploying the engine, including the directory itself and the .rpk file. So that's how you install the engines in the engine subdirectory, and you install other parts in the parts directory, for example BB93 3D tires, and you can see BB93 3D tires .rpk file. Once you install, basically drag and drop the directory and the file. All you have to do is just launch the game and it should appear. There's another directory called screenshots. This is where the game would store screenshots if you use the F12 to capture a screenshot. I don't recommend using that because it takes screenshots in a very unoptimized format and they're quite big, so uploading them online is a bit of a pain, but it's your call if you want to do that. Another file to pay attention to is error.log. This is where the game will be dropping the errors if it catches any. So if we open that file, you can have a look. There's a few conflicts, and usually conflicts don't mean that the game is going to crash, but if it does crash, you can then kind of pinpoint where the problem is. So let's say your game keeps crashing, you can look at the error log file and see that the cars, racers, Audi S3 underscore data scripts directory, there's something wrong in there. So it's your call if you want to try and fix it yourself, or if it's causing you major issues, just remove the mod. So remove the data directory and the .rpk file for the Audi S3. Sometimes you will have crashes and the error log will not be updated. In that case, ask for help on the forums and see if anyone knows what the issue might be. Another little exe file to pay attention to is this MWM, the resolution changer. So quite often, if you just launch the game, you will get an error pop up without the game launching. That's quite often to do with this. So what you do is you open this file and set your resolution, because 3D is so old, it does not support a lot of widescreen resolutions. So with this resolution changer.exe file, you can set a custom resolution. So in my case, I set to the 2560 by 1440, and then just press save, and that's it. So once you're ready to launch the game, all you do is double click 3D Racing Redline. Now what you will see in this particular case of this version of the game is a black screen. This is just basically the game loading. You can press escape a couple times and soon you'll see the load screen pop up. So let's just wait for that. There you go, that's the load screen. Cool. So we're in the game. There's nothing in here. You can, I believe, save a car if you want in the future called menu car, and that will then appear here. Your options are here, right at the top. Here you can adjust your controller, your video options and so on, but don't change your resolution in there. And let's start a new game. So let's just call it whatever you want to. Let's just say VSGWT. Pick a character, whatever you want it to be, and launch the game. There you are. This is your start, essentially. This is where you can now buy a car and start racing and earning money and building your car and so on. A couple of things to note in here. Here's your new car dealer. You're probably not going to be able to afford a new car with the 25k that you start with. You should probably buy a used car and start building it up. Buy something that's drivable and start building it up and racing. One other thing to care is the driver model skin. If you click on that, you can select a different driver. Usually they're quite big and some cars are quite small. So if you do have a model enabled, it will probably stick out the car. So I personally just always go no driver model and I just drive an RC car. Another little thing to try if you want to play the game without trying to grind for money is a cheat called I like cheating, and it's literally a single word. That single word, if you just type in and press the screwdriver, that will say you lose, and it will also pop out less cheating thingy. But nothing has actually changed. Your money has increased, nothing has changed. But if you go to catalog and then exit out of it, you'll see a little dollar sign appear here. That will say they will crash the desktop, but it will not. So if you just press it a few times, you can add a bit of cash and then go to catalog. And inside the catalog here is the place where you can buy vehicles straight from the catalog. So as an example, we pick a random, there you go, 318 coupe. So you can buy it as chassis, which means an empty car. So you build your engine, you build your suspension, interior, everything basically. Or you can buy as a vehicle. If you buy as a vehicle, it will come with everything in this case. Some mods do come without tires, without wheels, without engines. There's no quality control, so things vary. But in this particular version of the game, a lot of this has been fixed. So if you want a stable game to play with, this is the one to get. So let's just buy a car and have a quick look around. So here's what you usually get in a car. If you click the screwdriver, you can open things. Open boot, open bonnet, open doors. You can adjust things, let's say tire pressure. You can adjust the suspension. You can adjust the gearbox ratios. Sometimes if you buy an engine it doesn't really fit in the car, what you can do is open this mode, pick the screwdriver, tap on the oil pan. Inside the oil pan, this little script that's been made by community will pop up. This will allow you to move the car, see, side to side, forwards and backwards, up and down, rotate it, etc. So let's say if your engine doesn't fit, sticks out the bonnet, you can move it down, change, and so on. And wheels, for example, quite often you will have a wheel that, let's say, don't like the fitment of, right? A lot of the community rims do support the offset adjustment. So if you click on it with a screwdriver, you can then change the offset of the wheel. As an example, bam, the wheel sticks out a lot. That's one thing to keep in mind. There's a thing called fast forward time, 6 hours. So if you like racing at night, click a couple times, bam, you can see by the sky that you're at night. You can fast forward by 1 hour, bam, you're in the morning. And if you want to install or remove parts, you use the wrench button, and then you're able to remove things. Let's say windows, engine covers, wheels, etc. Couple of things I don't recommend using is the lift. The lift quite often does crash your game. It's just a bug that's been around since probably the release of the game, and no one has really fixed it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Quite often the car's physics are not great and the car will follow the jack lift. And yeah, once you're done building your car, you can click on here, which will take you to the Race of Champions. That's where you actually race to earn money. Or you can go to the Velocity, which is essentially a big free roam city. If you go at night, you can find spots where there's street races, which essentially just drag races, and you can drag race your car, win races, win money, and so on. And this is also the location where all your add-on tracks will be. For example, this track that we just looked up in the directory, or a drift track, and so on. Quite a few tracks do not look good at night because they don't have the lights. Test track is one that works. Velocity also works, but many of the modded tracks do not have it. So it's your call if you want to race at night or not. But other than that, this should get you started, and if you need any help or you see any issues with the game, feel free to join our forums and post a thread or a post in one of the bigger threads that have support from the community. And hopefully this was useful. And if you found this video useful, do drop a like, do drop a subscribe, and do drop a comment. Other than that, thanks for watching, and speak to you next time.